going down memory lane is a really awesome thing. 22 years and I got lots of memories to share, and we're going to share some of those today, next. Kio-chan here, and welcome to another week on VlogsOfSeven. And this week, my question was, what is something from your childhood that you still love today? And there are actually a couple of items that I'm going to talk about. And the first one is the biggest, and it's the giant game board book. This thing is gigantic, and it's just so much fun. Basically, it's a book that has like 5 games in it, and it has this electronic dice machine thing. It doesn't work anymore because it is so old, and it has gotten beaten up over the years because my birds like to nibble on it and just make a mess of it. So let's go through it. So the first game is Star Trek. Basically, it's a race around the solar system, and Pluto is still a planet in this book, and I still classify Pluto as a planet to this day. Then we got Spider's Web. The key is to get to the center of the web. Then we got Snakes and Ladders. I don't know who doesn't know this game. Then Mouse House. Out of all the games in this book, I think Mouse House and Snakes and Ladders were the 2 games that we played most often. Then we got Horsing Around. And lastly, Superstar, which I think was the one game that we played the least. But anyway, every single time someone would come over to our house, we would always pull this thing out and we'd always play a couple of rounds. And I've always enjoyed it. It's a really fun game, and I wish they would make something like this again because it is so awesome. But anyway, I think later I may actually pull this out and play with my parents again because we do really enjoy playing with it. So, that's the first thing. The second thing is a television show I'm sure a lot of people remember, Ghost Rider. If you grew up in my generation or a little bit older, you've probably seen this show at least once. It's really awesome. It really gets you into mysteries and a little bit of supernatural stuff because Ghost Rider is a ghost and nobody really knows the origins of Ghost Rider, whether it's a man, a woman, no one knows. But I really enjoyed watching Ghost Rider, and I'm really happy that it started coming out on DVD. And I do hope that Season 2 and what came out in Season 3 also gets released because I would like to see those episodes again because I haven't really seen any of it since the 1990, whenever it was released. I think it was 92 to 95, I think that's when it was out. But I love this show. It is just awesome. And I still rewatch the episodes from time to time. I may pull this in to the DVD player later too. The next thing was one of my biggest obsessions growing up, and that was Beanie Babies. I used to collect these all the time, and I still collect them. But back then, it was insane. I mean, I would come home with bags and bags full of Beanie Babies. Nowadays, I pretty much just go out to collect the cats or any other cute Beanie Babies, but I still collect them, and I have like a crap load of them under my bed and all around the house. If you look around, I'm sure you'll find a couple of bins full. Next is one of the classics, Super Nintendo. I'm not going to bring out my whole system, but the Super Nintendo was the first game system that I played on, and I've enjoyed playing on it ever since I got it. It is amazing, and there are a lot of awesome games that came out during this generation of gaming. I mean, there was Super Mario, there was Tetris, there was Mega Man, there was all those off-rider games, the like sports game. There's a lot of them that I really enjoyed playing, and I still have all of them. Every game that I ever got, I still have, and I still play them. So, I gotta say, the Super Nintendo has always been my favorite out of all the systems, even with all the new ones coming out. And I love this. This stuff brings back great memories. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, I would always challenge my cousins to Tetris. And I would whip their butt sometimes. And they're older than me, so it's pretty awesome. It's pretty awesome. And the last thing I'm going to talk about is probably one of my most precious possessions, and that's Coco. He's a panda bear, and he was my very first toy. Yeah, I know. Girls and their toys. But there's a story for this guy. He wasn't always as beat up as he is today. Now what happened was my parents were driving somewhere, and I think I was probably a couple of months, maybe a year old. Mom could probably correct me on that. But anyway, we were driving along, and my mom spotted Coco on the side of the road, and she told my dad to pull over, and she got it and washed it, and then later gave it to me. And I've loved it ever since. When I was a kid, I would not go to sleep unless I had Coco in my arms. It just didn't happen. If it wasn't there, you can forget me going to bed. Of course, as I grew older, I didn't really need to have Coco anymore to sleep, but I still carry him around. I still have him in my bed because I still love the guy. I mean, he's awesome. I mean, shoot, I've beaten him up so bad. This arm is prosthetic, and every other one has been patched up a couple of times. I think this was the second worst, and then these, we didn't bother touching those up again. But I've pulled off fur off of this thing. I've done everything to him, and you know, I still love this thing. Nothing can replace Coco. Nothing. So, this is probably the one thing from my childhood that I still love, and I'll probably still love when I'm a little old lady in a nursing home. So, those are all the items that I like from my childhood and I still like today. So my question for the next person kind of ties into my question. What things from your childhood that went missing would you like to bring back? Now what I mean is, like, is there a store that closed down that you really liked going to, and if you had the power to bring it back you would? Or was it like a television show that you used to watch that got canceled? The possibilities are endless with this question. So that's for the next person. I have no idea who you're going to see because people have been crazy and not showing up lately because of crazy things happening in their lives, whether it's vacation or just whatever. So we'll see somebody sometime this week. And that's all for me. I'll be back next week, and I hope you guys have a great day. Bye!